be over, despite what the hats say. And you're going to have a career after that. And people are going to have a real long memory about. So I look at Marco Rubio, and I'm like, dude, you could have been president. You could have been vice president. Like I thought highly of you, and you're just sitting there nodding along to some of this shit. And it's like, dude, why are you co-signing everything? Why shouldn't you just be somewhere hiding from the cameras so you can distance yourself from what he just said later on?
If anything, I would think this is going to help someone like Rubio.
He's part of it. He's right there in the middle of this mess.
I'm saying
he will be blamed for this the same way that vice president attack Kamala on Biden's failures. They're going to attack anyone who's attached to this administration. Is going nowhere in the future politically because
I've agreed with that.
They'll wear him around their neck like an albatross.
Totally, I think that's a misread.
And I haven't been right.
We're not done yet. We're just getting started. 4 more years.
Yeah,
look,
I think that's a misread. I think that people like Rubio were floundering, and then they got on board with Trump, and that he is giving him some of his supporters. Some people who otherwise wouldn't have liked Rubio are going to like him more now. Time will tell, but that seems more realistic to me because, like, as much as like a ton of people really, really like Trump and what he's doing, regardless of what is happening.
Wait till Christmas. Wait till Christmas.
For
that's what I'm waiting on.
Is old Saint Nick going to come shut down?
Saint Nick ain't coming. That's the thing.
What? 4th of July might not be coming. Like most of our fireworks. Did you hear his quote
today about dolls? He's like, yeah, the tariffs are going to be bad. Maybe now the kid will have $2 instead of $30.
And the 2 will cost a little bit more.
That's the other half of the quote.
And China seems like they are. I keep seeing. Look at all these factories they're closing in China. They didn't bulldoze them, did they? Open them right up after they're done fucking us over when they win this thing. They're
already making trade agreements with other countries.
You think China's going to win the long-term trade war?
They already won.
I think they're winning right now.
We already beefed it.
They wouldn't come to him. He's had to go crawling to them.
Yeah, Trump linked.
Trump administration just signed an executive order directing priority federal funding to schools that prioritize AI teachers.
A1 teachers. It's A1 teachers, like the state.
A1 teachers. I don't know if the AI has to conform to any particular ideological slant to get the grants, but
I don't know what
so does Linda McMahon.
Yeah,
there was they were doing this thing, and Linda McMahon, the head of the education department, and look, he put her there because it's a favor, and he also plans on closing that department or whatever. She's grossly unqualified, but she was talking about AI, and she was saying A1. Because she didn't know what she was talking about.
Children are learning on these A1 computers. Yeah.
My bad.
No, she was like, we need more A1 learning in pre-K and A1 learning. And we're going to get that A1 learning. And she thinks she's talking about like real good learning, like the good stuff. A1, top notch.
Those are both the first letters and numbers.
Yeah, and it's AI. It's not even a numeral. It's a fucking letter, and she's reading it wrong, or she read it wrong.
Incompetence is the hallmark of this administration. If you thought DEI was bad, this loyalty hiring is worse.
I think there are competent people in some of the positions. She's not one of them. That one in particular is its own little thing because he wants to get rid of the education department. Linda McMahon is Vince McMahon's wife. She took part in. She's a wrestler. Like she was on stage getting fucking pile drived and helping to write goofy plots while her husband essayed every hot.
She also helped cover that up and got sued for it.
Of course, she's part of the cover up. And then there's that thing with all the boys too. Like they're worse than the Catholic Church over at WWE. I'm gonna tell you. But like men, women, it doesn't matter. They're getting after you. And she's part of all of that nonsense. But what she's not part of is anything that regards education. To my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she taught 50 years ago or something like that. But he's clearly wanting to kill the Department of Education. So it doesn't matter that she's incompetent because the department was going to get defunded and shut down anyway and sent back to the states or whatever he plans to do. Who knows if it even ever happens?
Right.
But there's incompetence everywhere. Woody, who's your favorite incompetent person in the administration? Who amuses you the most?
Amuses me the most. I need a second to think on that one.
Pam Bondi sounded like one of those North Korean. Wonderful leader, did great thing today. He saved 50 million Korean life. He fight off great evil, DEI.
Yeah, that is a good one. Is she the one that just claimed that by reducing the amount of fentanyl that came into the country, he saved 119 American lives? That a third of the country I'm sorry, I said it wrong. 119 million American lives. That a third of our nation would have been wiped out by fentanyl had it not been for what Trump did in the last 3 months.
Yeah. Yep. She said that.
Any question you ask her, even like you talked about Trump in the interview, not taking the easy bait, people ask her these sort of medium soft questions. There's a little meat to it, but plenty of room for her to dodge. Nah, she'll just go full crazy and say the craziest shit on TV.
Now, the press secretary, on the other hand, I find her to be excellent. She is having to defend what she's having to defend, all sorts of crazy inconsistencies and the game plan seemingly changes on the fly, and she has to be the voice of the president and like, hey, the president said he was going to do X, Y, and Z, and yet, it's Monday now, and that didn't happen. So is this a sign that things are moving forward, or are we in a quagmire? And she has to spin that and on the dime, and she does a great job of that. She's 27, and she's really good at her job.
40.
That's stress. This is where I can't get on with the left. I see people attacking her looks, and it's like, man, y'all are the people who would never allow this to be. You wouldn't like this as much as the other way. I don't know.
I personally attack her for just straight up lying, worse than the looks.
I saw one picture of her where she looked a little bit aged, but I've also seen like lots of video of her where she looks like she's been losing weight too. Like she's been getting better.
Did you guys see Kristi Noem's glow up after she joined the Trump administration?
Yeah.
You go back and look at her. So from 2018, she looks like a fucking Mennonite. Normal woman, normal age, very conservative dress. After joining the Trump team, it's dyed hair. We've got face work done. We've got makeup. We've got bra push. Like just a total, like we've swapped over to reality TV mode.
I got you.
But the clown that I like is Ron Navarro, I believe is his name, or Peter Navarro, the trade advisor. He got hired by the Trump administration because he wrote a book bitching about China. And in the book, he couldn't find an expert to cite to back up his beliefs. So he made an anagram of his own name and a fake expert to cite that in the book. This is the dude who in the Senate subcommittee hearing was in the middle of the interview arguing in favor of tariffs. And they canceled the tariffs. Yeah. This is our, what is this? Department of Homeland Security. This is the lady that shot a puppy in the head with the shotgun.
President Trump.
She was very proud of killing
whoever did puppy. This for us. Well, look, she said it was a rowdy dog. Sometimes you got to yell her. And that's on the left. She looks very good to me. I'm not a fan of that hairstyle. It's very like home improvement. Like
I'm with you. This was a person born to be pretty, but she chose the wrong hair there. Yeah, on the right, I don't
like the right. All the face work looks fucked up.
Little Nosferatu with those cheeks.
Yeah.
And those lips. Look at this.
Peter Navarro is one of my least favorite people. He just goes on there and lies. And I feel like people without any financial background are falling for it. And that frustrates me.
How many of the MAGAs have you seen posting on like our leopards ate my face or like social media bullshit where it's
can't believe any of that.
I'm with Kyle. Right. I don't believe it at all. And every so often, I tell a story on Reddit. I think he was near the top today. Kyle may have seen it. And I bet that one example was true. But by and large, the masses of people saying they regret their vote, I don't think people do that.
No. It's the people I was trying to say. The people they were like, why am I paying so many tariffs? My small business has to deal with tariffs. I've seen a couple of posts to be like, what the fuck? I thought Canada paid the tariffs. There have been quite a bit of that. The people
I don't believe that either.
My opinion, I don't believe that at all.
This is an importer exporter, and he didn't know who pays the tariffs. Like
you'd be surprised.
Well, he's been paying them. He knows what's up. There were already tariffs to some degree in place. There's just more, but I don't believe any of that. Anyone who's just like, I used to think this, no, I think that. I think it's all just astroturfed. And now with the AI and the fake accounts, just don't believe anything you read on as far as like people telling you a story about what happened to them. You'd be more apt to find a real story on Penthouse forums or something like that about how the two hot chicks came into while you were changing and just wanted your dick.
So what I do think is true though is when Trump said we don't pay the tariffs, China does, Canada does, etc. While he was running for president, a lot of people were lost. Like, I don't know, Kamala says this, Trump says that. I don't know what to believe. Or maybe they just did believe Trump and his lies. His press secretary got under my skin when she said tariffs are a tax cut. Yep. Right? You guys don't know what tariffs are. It's when you cut taxes.
Pretty simple. That's a catchphrase. She'll explain to you and with a lie, and then she'll say pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lying technique. It's like, as you know how that works.
Oh, everybody knows. And the thing, like, now I'm causing you to have to go above and beyond to disagree with me. Like, I've already established that you agree with me as I laid out my answer. And it takes some balls to tell the president of the United States or whatever person in this position of power that, no, in fact, I don't know that. I know something different.
And what's the governor down there? He's famous. What's his name?
DeSantis.
Abbott? DeSantis is Florida. Abbott is Texas.
Yeah,
the guy with the pumps.
About it.
Yeah, have you seen him with his little lifts?
With his cowboy boots with like 4 inches of empty shoe towards the end of it. It's all folded up and bent. What a goober.
Abbott's in the chair, right?
I can't believe I didn't know he was crippled until like.
Do you know how it happened?
Within the last year. I don't know.
I think a tree fell on him. I think God smote him.
He was smitten?
Crashed a vehicle into a tree
by God himself. Yeah.
I want to say we're gonna throw this into Google real quick so that we know. Oh wow! If I type "How did Governor A," it pulls the rest.
Smite! Holy shit! Never considered that. Yeah.
A large oak tree cracked and fell in half on Governor Abbott's back, leaving him forever paralyzed from the waist down. And since I'm deeply involved with Texas politics, a fun story about this: he got some of his initial money, I believe, by suing the owner of the tree or whoever was responsible. He got a nice chunk of starter change, like buy a house kind of money. And then got elected. And the moment he got elected, one of the very first handful of bills that he proposed was restrictions, bans, and limits on liability settlements, specifically for exactly the type of liability settlement that he made money from.
I thought you were going to say his first act was to declare war on trees. Start chopping them all down.
For all the like salty liberals, like Governor Abbott, it's like they'll say like the tree should finish the job. And there was another one.
It sucks.
Texas.
Who's the other representative from Houston? I'm forgetting her name. She calls him Governor Hot Wheels or DEI governor because it's
Crockett.
Yeah, Crockett.
Dude, how often would you be thinking, like, if I were running just a little bit faster or a little bit slower, I'd be fucking jitterbugging out there tonight with the gang at my daughter's wedding.
It comes up often, that thought.
I think he's faking it for the sympathy votes. They're like, oh, look how much he's.
They would have made a big to do about it. I didn't know he was. I literally had no idea he was in a wheelchair until I saw.
That's because you just don't follow politics if you don't know Greg Abbott's in a fucking chair.
Well, I don't follow the Texas.
Not only do they wheel that son of a bitch around everywhere and talk about how brave he is, but Crockett went after him about a month ago and called him Governor Hot Wheels. And
it was like barely before that I learned, because I saw him wheeling around and I literally thought, like, did he fucking break his leg or something? What's up?
No. All of my complaints about Abbott have very little to do with his wheelchair. It's
him being crippled. Yeah.
I'm so far left of center that cuckolding enthusiasts look down on me. So of course I'm not gonna look too kindly on some things.
That's the biggest problem I have with him is the wheelchair. Everything else, I'm sure he's doing a bang up job. But
that's the big one for you.
That's the big one.
Stand up and look me in the eye, Governor, or I ain't gonna trust the words you have to say.
I don't trust.